we could go through, but unfortunately, I don't even think we'd finish all 15 of these.
No, they can email us.
We may have to have another show sometime down the road on the other.
Info@Maryanne Live, by the way, if you want some more information. If you want the rest of these 15 questions, we're happy to send them out to you.
They're not questions, they're
guidelines. Right, yeah. They're not questions. We're going to
we
get
have
to questions. Yes, we do. And Angie in
Angie.
Orange County has a question. She says, I enjoy listening to your show. Thanks, Angie. This is a great topic, she says. I've had two business partners in the last 12 years, each of which ended badly. The first one I can chalk up to being young. The second has had some serious emotional problems, which I didn't realize how serious until our business started to dismantle as a result. I've always been pretty good at separating business from my personal life, yet it seems this is an out-of-date concept, as most people I know complain about their business partners' relationships. Why are these boundaries, or at least the kind of professionalism I learned in school, seem so blurred today? And I'm wondering how other people are feeling about having business partners as well. I think I understand her question.
Yeah, why are they blurred? What I'm picking up on there is why are they blurred, which I think because she sees the relationship in business and the relationship in personal
as
separate. And she also realizes that the same rules are working sort of in both of them. She, I think, is hoping that some of the more personal ones would be in business. So that's why I think these 15 steps are actually very good. And I would answer her question by saying with one of those. Somewhere on one of those 15, the best answer to that question is actually there, far better than I think I could answer it myself. And that is, maybe there is no difference between the two. And one of the steps that we read was check your compatibility. That's occurs to me. It seems that you've had two that have failed, but if you were to take more time and check the compatibility in your values,
philosophy and your goals, right?
And know yourself. Would be the two that I would recommend there.
I think that's oftentimes the case. The sort of old school, more traditional way to go into business is, let me see your business plan. I like the idea. You know, everything is sound on that level, Angie, which sounds like you're a sound businesswoman. However, we have to interview on a personal level. We have to see who's bringing the business plan to the table, right? How are they operating in their life? Seriously, are you on medication? Do you have a history? I mean, these are things you need to know. It doesn't mean they're bad things, but you want to be able to know that somebody's going to show up at their business meetings on time, however sound their plan is, right? You want to make sure that who they are and what they are committed to, that there is a cohesiveness and functionality.
Just like I'm going to bring up a concept, and I don't know if it's going to work or not, but one of the things that I'm very passionate about is, are you willing to have a real relationship, or do you only want a parallel relationship? So many times when we go into business, we think, well, someone looks like me, they have the same kind of hopes and dreams, but we sort of go along a parallel line, and at which point if we take a left turn or a right turn, the other part of that parallel line gets left out or doesn't make the turn, or they crash into each other. What we're suggesting is not parallel relationships, but intimate relationships, both in, and there are boundaries in work, etc., but the relationships where you actually discover each other and their compatibility, and that you can work with each other so that when you turn, it's more like a dance. You actually dance together, as opposed to hoping that this parallel line will eventually bring a lot of money.
Right. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I teach, are identifying your non-negotiables. I mean, certain things are non-negotiables, as my friend Yvette Hogan says. Some of them are preferences. I'm not sure, Angie, if any of these things that ended the relationship were not negotiable, but it would be good to know in advance things that aren't negotiable for you in business or in other relationship, and really avoid those and find out what those things are in advance. But the preferences, I think a lot of people, this is where I think they get into trouble, because their preferences they think are not negotiable, when in fact they are. And one of the things you've taught me about business, David, is not to surround myself with yes people, and to really bring people on board that have different qualities that I don't necessarily find compatible with my own, but they really do, not compatible, not the same as mine, were compatible energetically, but that actually lend to what the big vision needs.
And you need a little friction there.
The friction,
and
you call it.
And then in that friction, you actually get you get all kinds of things happen in that friction. You can feel where you are, they can feel, and then you also have to have, what is it, Marshall Rosenberg, you have to have respectful communication in your differences. But those two things, when they're in business, you can actually have a much, much, much more successful business.
Absolutely.
Let's get to another question.